On the evening of August 1997, Diana, Princess of Wales, and her companion, Dodi Fayed. Here's everything we know so far about the crash that killed Diana. This is the story of the most famous car crash. Diana and Dodi leave the Ritz. After a day of sightseeing around Paris, Diana and Dodi decided to stay in for dinner at the Ritz. They ate in the hotel's Michelin star restaurant before retiring to Dodi's suite. Although they were staying in separate rooms, there were persistent rumors that the two were getting romantic. At around 10 p.m., Diana took a call from her son, Prince William, who was spending the summer with his father, Prince Charles, in the south of France. She then received another phone call, this time from Dodi's father, Mohammed Al-Fayed. He told her that a photographer had just broken into the hotel room next door to his son S and warned her that Dodi would be leaving soon. Diana replied, "I'm sorry, I've only got a few minutes." It was the last conversation anyone would have with her alive. As the night wore on, photographers continued to gather outside the Ritz, eager to get a picture of the two lovers. Security at the Ritz was aware of the situation and knew that Diana and Dodi would need a discreet way out if they were going to make it home without being spotted. By 12:22 a.m., the couple had changed into more casual clothes and were ready to go out. Diana put on a black leather jacket, a navy blue dress, and some black shoes. She finished off the look with a white t-shirt, black jeans, and a black belt. Dodi, meanwhile, went with a simple black shirt and dark pants, evading the paparazzi. As Diana and Dodi made their way through the back entrance of the hotel, they were spotted by a waiter named Frederick Maz. "When I saw them, they were walking side by side. It was clear that they wanted to be alone," he later said. Unfortunately, the same could not be said for their escort. Henry Paul, the Ritz security guard driving the car that night, had been drinking heavily since the start of the evening. Witnesses said they saw him drinking whiskey at the bar until 10:30 p.m. when the restaurant closed. Afterwards, he moved to the lounge where he had more drinks and smoked a pack of cigarettes. Throughout the evening, he kept in touch with Trevor Rizones, Diana's bodyguard, who was riding in a separate car. According to Rhys Jones, Paul called him several times, asking him to pick them up and take them to the airport instead. But Rhys Jones refused, saying that Diana didn't want to travel at such a late hour. At midnight, Diana and Dodi met up with Paul, along with two other staff members, Felipe Doral and Trevor Rhys Jones, at the back of the hotel. The group got into a black Mercedes-Benz S280 and slowly made their way to the front of the hotel. Paul knew that there were paparazzi waiting outside and wanted to make sure that he did not drive directly into a waiting camera. Instead, he drove around the block before heading down the Champs-Élysées towards the Place de la Con. As the car drove through the streets, Paul swerved suddenly and aggressively to avoid the paparazzi. Rhys Jones noticed that Diana and Dodi looked scared at this point, so he called out to Paul, telling him to slow down. However, Paul did not listen and continued speeding down the road, entering the tunnel. The driver had reached the end of the Champs-Élysées and now needed to cross the Seine River to get to the Alma Bridge. To do so, he would have to drive through the Pont tunnel, one of the longest underpasses in Paris, according to witnesses. As the car entered the tunnel, it was going at least twice the posted speed limit of 50 miles per hour. At the time, the driver, Paul, may have thought that he could outrun the paparazzi by driving straight ahead. However, at the end of the tunnel, there was a wall that blocked the exit. In order to turn around, he would have to make a 180-degree turn. And as he tried to do so, he lost control of the vehicle. The crash! At 1:30 a.m., the Mercedes-Benz S280 crashed into the 13th pillar of the Pont tunnel. According to investigators, the impact was equivalent to a low-speed impact from a truck. The car burst into flames, killing both Dodi and Paul instantly. Diana was still alive, but she had suffered serious injuries. Her left lung had collapsed, and she had severe abdominal injuries. She also had a small amount of blood near her heart. Despite her injuries, Diana was conscious for a short period of time. Firefighter Xavier Gourmelon, one of the first people to reach the scene, held her hand and asked her if she was okay. Diana looked at him and said, "Oh my God, what's happened?" He then began performing mouth-to-nose resuscitation. He tried to keep her conscious and talking to him, but after a few moments, she stopped breathing. By the time the ambulance arrived, she had no vital signs. At the hospital, Diana was taken to Pont Hospital, which was close to the scene of the accident. When the ambulance arrived, she was unconscious. Doctors quickly performed surgery to remove her collapsed lung and repair her abdominal injuries. However, these procedures were unsuccessful. At 4 a.m., Diana was pronounced dead. Aftermath. The world was shocked by the news of Diana's death. People gathered outside the palace, holding flowers and crying. Many people felt as though they had lost a member of their own family. Others couldn't believe that someone so young and vibrant could be gone so soon. The French government launched an investigation into the crash, but they couldn't come up with a definitive answer as to what caused it. One theory was that Paul had deliberately crashed the car in order to collect insurance money. Another theory was that the crash was an accident caused by Paul's drinking and speeding. Eventually, the case was closed and Paul was blamed for the crash. Today, Diana's grave and memorials continue to draw visitors from all over the world. People come to pay their respects to the woman who is known as the People's Princess. She may be gone, but she will never be forgotten. Now you need to watch This Is What Really Happened on the Night of Diana and Dodi's Crash. Or check out Diana's grave and memorials continue to draw visitors.